one. Welcome to episode 20 of the Tired Dad podcast. You're always like, wow, this is the 20th episode. Remember, I do. They're not with you, okay?
I know.
You're not the special guest at 20 times.
Don't I know it?
I have to say, yesterday's podcast with Jeremy was an eye-opener.
Yeah.
It was a very good podcast that we did. And if you haven't seen it already, go to the Tired Dads podcast on YouTube, and there you will see the interview that we did with Jeremy and talk about how we beat the system, which was good. But we're not talking about that tonight.
No.
We are not talking about that tonight. We're going to talk about the 5 ways to get more physical connection from your partner, your wife, your girlfriend. Maybe this is something that you've struggled with in the past as dads. Maybe this is something that you need to take into your new relationship. Maybe you're single and you're wondering, will I ever get physical connection again?
Let's get physical.
First off, guys, I have to say, I'm not the, what's the word? I'm not the...
Guru.
The guru of how to get physical connection.
Why?
Okay.
Why are you not?
Because we don't have sex every day. However, we are intimate every day.
Yeah.
We're not sexually intimate every day. Okay, and so I think we need to explore that a lot more, because a lot of people think physical connection is going to bed, having a fuck, and that's it, don't they? And a lot of men, even though sex is great, and guys, let's be real, the end goal is having sex. There is a lot of what's the word? Rituals? Are they rituals, would you say?
I suppose it's foreplay, but it's just like the build-up, isn't it? It's the build-up.
But even before the sexual foreplay.
Yeah.
I don't mean like, okay, we have sex tonight, so we're going to do this. I'm on about like the day before, the week before, like the 6 months before, and all what happens on the day-to-day basis that needs to happen in order to become physically intimate.
I can't speak for all women, but the women that I know and have these sorts of conversations with. Which
women do talk, guys. Let's be real. Women do talk.
We talk.
Yeah.
It's more important for the sort of end result to have that emotional and intimate connection beforehand. It's all about the build-up. And trust me, it's all about how you treat your woman on the lead up to being intimate, if that is your end goal. And no one's saying play a game just to get your end away.
I think we need to, let's not go to that part first.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
First off, in order for a man to get physical with their woman, the man's got to be confident about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you not say that's the beginning of it all?
Well, that's attractive, isn't it?
Yeah, so if a man's confident with who he is,
confidence
if a man
is sexy.
feels confident, he feels sexy, the woman sees him different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if a man looks after himself, if he lifts weights, if he looks good or he feels he looks good, if the woman's physically attracted to him with how he looks, and the man oozes that confidence with great fitting clothes and all that, then that's probably a good stage to be at, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the start of it.
There's a fine line between being confident and being cocky.
Yeah.
Confidence is sexy, cockiness is not.
Yeah.
So it's that fine line, men, of having that self-assurance without coming across too egotistical.
Excuse me, sorry.
But yeah, definitely having confidence is attractive.
Yeah, so I think what men, and the reason why we've got the laptop is because we're live inside our Discord group as well. So we're talking, men are joining in the Discord group as well. So welcome, men, for that are in our community. We have a Tired Dad community, and so dads have come in to watch it live while we do this pre-recorded for YouTube. Okay, so a man needs to get in shape, lift heavy weights, dress well, smell good, walk with confidence. That's attractive to the woman.
Well, that's going to build confidence. So if you're not at that point doing those things, self-care is going to build that confidence where you can perhaps approach a woman. So if you're single, or if you're a dad back out on the dating scene,
or even if you're in a relationship,
feeling
like you've got the confidence to approach the subject of sex.
Sexiness is like an attitude and a state of mind, isn't it?
And I think that's probably the first step in order to start. And guys, I really want you to understand, this isn't just about having the actions of sex, okay? This is about being physically intimate, whether it's holding hands, having that comfort hug, lounging around on the sofa, just being in each other's arms. Because there's different levels and different stages of intimacy, isn't there?
Yeah, it doesn't always have to end with sex. It's
no, it
not
doesn't.
Always,
no, it doesn't. But
that's not the be-all and end-all of intimacy.
Even though it's on most men's minds most of the time.
Yeah. some or most women.
Yeah, exactly.
Although we might not talk about it all the time.
You probably talk about it in your girl groups. Men don't talk about it, okay? Men will go, oh, she's fit, and that's about it. Yeah. So the first stage is men to build their own confidence, and that comes with self-worth, that comes with self-respect, that comes with looking good, that comes with hitting the gym, that comes with lots of different levels itself.
When you feel confident, that is echoed and sort of mirrored with the woman, so she feels sexy as well.
Yeah.
You're sort of eluding confidence and sexiness. You're going to encourage the woman to feel that as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So we've got that, and then the next stage is to build emotional security, okay? Making sure that you feel safe.
And not just walking down a dark street.
Or someone knocking the door, I've got it with a baseball bat and stuff
or
like
in your world, running away from zombies.
If you don't know, I'm
in this house, we are preparing for the zombie apocalypse. So I have no doubt that my husband has got everything on lockdown.
Telling them a secret. Don't come to our house. I haven't got rations. They're kept away somewhere. But yeah, so it's all about building that emotional connection. So that comes with time. That comes with listening.
That's the first thing.
Because I've had a conversation with many dads, and they expect the relationship's broken down. So what happens then? You become both stubborn, and for some reason, neither one of them want to make the decision to let's have a conversation, let's listen to each other. And so what happens is, and this is how arguments happen, isn't it? You become stubborn, resentful, and then you go your separate ways.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like intimacy and stuff, I think you have to have a hard conversation first anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what needs do you have?
Like, why are we not being intimate?
Yeah, why are we not being intimate? Do we actually still love each other?
Let's
do we
talk about
care for each other?
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And then if you still love each other or you want to make things work, then you got to start listening to each other.
Yeah.
Now, you're a big advocate of the 5 love languages, aren't you? Which we're going to touch on a bit later on. So you've got to, first off, men, dads, husbands, instead of rolling your eyes, and we're not very good listeners, let's be real, you got to listen to your partner.
And we know when you're not listening.
Exactly.
That's
my word.
I can say to you, you haven't listened to a word of that, and you'll be like, yeah, I did.
And I'll go exactly when I'm not, because exactly covers everything.
Exactly.
Exactly is yes, exactly is no. So it covers
that's
everything.
how I agree with you.
Yeah, that's how I agree with you, sort of thing. So,
but I've sussed it.
Yeah, damn it. So you've got to start listening to your wife, your partner, number one. Number two, you've got to start validating her feelings, okay? Sometimes, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, we're not always right.
And we're not always looking for a solution.
No, you just want to vent sometimes.
Sometimes we just want to offload.
Yeah, and so you just want to vent.
Yeah. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm not asking you to come on your horse as my knight in shining armour and fix it. Sometimes I just want to moan about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
and even though we don't want to listen, and even though we don't get it, and like, you have lots of times where I'm like, oh, but don't. Smile on. Oh, really? Oh, man.
Because there'll be times that you need to do that as well.
And I could go into things like, oh, man, that's a shame. Okay. And all these great ways. Guys, just listen. Just listen and go, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then, and I think that's probably one of the biggest areas. And then
because when you feel heard,
yeah,
that is a step forward in, again, building that connection.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this in another podcast. Becoming disconnected is when you don't feel heard and that communication is broken down. Yeah. So communication is the very first portal to building intimacy, I believe.
Yeah, totally. One of the things that I did, for those of you that don't know, that I just joined the podcast, we rebuilt our marriage last year in 2024, and we still continue to do it.
Yeah.
One of the actions that I've been taking on massively is not denying you your emotions or feelings, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what that is basically allowing you, instead of me thinking, come on, man, I did what I did, I get it, can we move on? It's okay, I understand how you feel, what do we need to do?
Yeah, it's a journey, as we've spoken about lots of times.
And it's a hard journey.
And
forgiveness is a hard journey.
Well, when we were at church on Sunday, the pastor talked, again, it's always bang on every single week. It's always something that's really relevant to our life. And it was all about forgiveness. And the thing that I took away from it on Sunday was, it's not just a matter of, I'm choosing to forgive and that's it. You will have to choose to forgive time and time again. And that kind of then echoes into your role in it, which is, you're going to have to let me go through that process of letting go.
Yeah.
Time after time after time. And there's no...
And it does get frustrating because you don't want to remember about the person you were. You don't remember about what you've done. But also you've got to allow your partner, your wife, if you have done something that has hurt that person, has traumatized that person, then you've got to allow that person to express, and that comes back down to listening, communication,
and also coming back to the purpose for it. It's not because I want another sorry. It's not because I want to go over it all again and unravel it all, and I want another apology. It's just getting it off your chest.
And no solution.
And you just want to be heard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think that is the key. First off, I think having the hard conversation.
Yeah.
Why are we not into it?
Yeah.
What is going on for us? And I think we've got better than that, and that's probably made our marriage stronger, because we are good at communicating now. We are good at talking. Yeah. I'm like, you're like, we talk, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. We used to be really bad at it with arguments.
And also with you, like, with sex, I think it's a male pride thing. Like, let's be honest, you don't want it all the time.
Yeah.
And as a man, I suppose you kind of fear not
wanting. Lying. I want it all the time.
No, he doesn't.
No, but sometimes.
But it's an ego thing, isn't it? You don't want to be the one that's saying, do you know what? I'm actually tired. Do you know what? I actually haven't got it in me tonight. I actually don't want to. But I think you felt before that as the man, you should always be the macho.
But that's hard for you to understand as well, because.
Because I've never been used to you being like that.
No, but also you think, you start then turning it on to yourself, and you start thinking, is it me? Am I not attractive? And so being honest with each other and having that conversation, that talk, is key.
And that's new for us as well.
Oh yeah, totally. It's a new experience. And this is all new to us in rebuilding that marriage, and this is why we're doing this podcast, because we want to share with you what our findings are.
This is as raw as it's going to get.
And what we found out as well.
This is real time.
Another thing that most men don't do is the flirting. Now, when you have kids, you have to have those little flirts, don't you?
You've got to find time, and again, it comes back to that word, intention.
Yeah.
If one of you are at work, sending each other a nice little message, talking about what you want to do that night. If you know you've got a date night coming up, perhaps planning some things in that you'd like to do then. Remembering why you fancy each other in the first place.
The grab of the ass.
Yeah.
Just a typical in the kitchen, grab of the ass.
Yeah.
Coming up, hugging, and all that sort of thing.
It's always so important.
And I think, and that's coming back down to touch, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Touch deprivation is a real thing.
We spoke about that. Did you speak to me this?
I never even knew it was a real thing, but I researched it, and humans get something called touch deprivation.
Like, and I think men need touch more than women.
Yeah, I was saying this. I was asking you this, wasn't I? I was like, do men need that physical, like not sex, but like that whole touch. Like holding hands, hugging, lying next to each other,
and even that warm embrace of your biceps are big today. That's what I'm like.
Mine or yours?
Well, you've been pumping those biceps, girls.
When I say to you, show me your pecs.
Yeah. Let's see the effects of it.
So you love it.
But so even little things like that, and men, you've got to learn to do the same to women. Okay, your ass looks good in those trousers. I know you could do anything. You could just
something that
kiss the neck, just come up behind them, grab them, going, I love you, and all these sort of little things that you want to, and you've probably forgotten, or you've gotten out of touch with, or the habits that you've lost. You've really got to start thinking about the flirting game, the intimate touching game, the sending her sexy, or if not non-sexy but intimate texts,
complimenting about things that perhaps they're insecure about as well. Reassuring is always good, especially with women who perhaps might have insecurities about the way they look, or post body baby or whatever.
Definitely.
Sort of just reassuring that person that you do find them attractive, and it's even if you're not able to be intimate or affectionate all the time, just that little reminder.
Yeah, and that
goes a long way.
It's that innate touch, isn't it? Like I like, for instance, holding hands. You like me holding your hand and leading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hate it when I go the other way just to joke around.
We've got this thing like about being a leader, and so like if she puts her hand around, do it. If you go like this, I'm like, get off.
It's really like emasculating.
And like if your hands are one way around and you're pulling me, I'm like, no, I'm leading you, sort of thing. So holding the hand, kissing the forehead, rubbing the lower back.
And initiating this without the woman thinking that it's going to lead somewhere.
You're not doing it just for sex.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a big one. Like you're not going to bed early.
Oh, you're only doing this because you want a bit. Yeah.
Most of the time we are.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to do it without expecting.
But also, I think the dad's problem is this: the only time they are affectionate is because they want sex.
Yeah.
When if you start playing, and it is a bit of a game, it's a bit of a foundation. If you start doing the whole intimate but without sex, so having the hard conversation, the good communication, the nice touches here and there,
massages,
but also there's just the whole thing of good, positive affirmation through communication and touch. That then, and if you do that regularly, not just a one-off, but if you do that regularly, down the line, sex will become more.
Doing it as a one-off, you can see right through it.
Yeah, because you expect, because as a woman, your guard goes up, because and if you've not had sex for a while, why are you going to have sex suddenly?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've not had sex for a while. We've not even touched for a while. We've not even communicated for a while. Why am I expecting you then to go, okay, we'll have sex?
To be completely vulnerable.
And get naked in front of each other.
Yeah.
It isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you've got to go back to, I think, how you first dated.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
Yeah, treat each other the way that you would have before you knew each other inside
and I think
out.
So many dads have lost the art of
being able to date their wife.
Yeah, what they did at the beginning. Now, if I remember what I did at the beginning, man, the long phone calls, the long texts, sitting in the car for hours. Like, my God.
But
if I went back to that, I'd die. Do you know what I mean? I'd literally die in the car with my phone.
But you did all that. Why?
Because I wanted sex.
No.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Because you wanted to. Because you wanted to impress. You wanted to build. You wanted to build that connection. You wanted to build that relationship. You wanted to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And okay, you may already know each other inside out if you've been together a long time. But there's still things you can learn about each other. There's still interesting conversations. There's still things that you can enjoy together. New things that you haven't done before. All those things will lead up to that physical intimacy.
But you've got to go back to the effort you made in dating.
Yeah.
Because I think that's such a key thing that so many dads and wives, they lose.
And you can't do it all the time.
No.
That's not reality. But sometimes you have to pull it out the bag.
Yeah. So
And
what does
make
putting it out
that
the bag
effort.
look like? I know from a man, but what's it look like from a woman? What does putting out the bag mean from a woman?
If I'm talking about personally, dressing in a way that I know you like me to dress, catching you off guard. Sometimes when I come down in the morning, I've got my work clothes on. I'm not just in my hoodie and my leggings or whatever.
Yeah.
When I've got my work clothes on, I see a little twinkle in your eye. And you turn around and go, oh.
Hello, Mrs. Ross.
Yeah. Just catching you off guard. Perhaps offering to do something that you know that your partner loves, like, do you know what, babe? I'm going to cook you your favourite dinner tonight, or what would you like me to cook you? Or do you know what? On Friday we're going to put the kids to bed early, and we're going to have some me and you time. Or I've booked this. Taking some action with things that you know your partner enjoys. That's going to mean the world, and it doesn't mean presents. It doesn't mean money. It's effort and time. I
totally agree. I think from a man's point of view, you've got to learn the art of communication, not just verbally.
Okay,
you've got to understand the art of communication with touch, listening, smelling good, do you know what I mean? And all these sort of things that we forget.
Even little things like, we were talking about this the other day, because obviously we're sort of watching what we're eating, so we're not, snacking as much. And I don't know, with that, sometimes you need chewing gum. We said, and when we were first dating, we'd always have chewing gum, wouldn't we? So you had fresh breath, you're looking good, you're feeling good, you're smelling good. Going back to chewing gum makes a big difference. There's chewing gum in the corner over there, babe. Take advantage.
Little things like that. But I think from a dad's point of view, it's learning how to communicate without making it obvious.
Yeah. So, and also it being genuine. It's not going to get you anywhere if it's disingenuous, and it is just for, I want to have sex tonight, so I suppose I better be nice to her. I suppose I better go and sit by her for 5 minutes. Oh, I've done my bit now. Why doesn't she want?
I used to be the 5-minute massage. Do you want a massage, babe?
Used to be.
Sure. After some good quality massages, later. I used to be. And it was the best one you've ever had.
Yeah, and the only one. The only one that we'll ever have as well.
And it's the one time we had
we keep referring back to that.
Anyway.
He's lying.
I'm just getting you back. But yeah, so the 5-minute massage where you make a 5-minute effort thinking you're going to get like the 2-minute sex or whatever it is. I was going to say 20 minutes, but it's never 20 minutes, is it? But yeah, so you've really got to start thinking about communication. You've really got to thinking about what are your wife's, what's your love language?
Yeah.
What is your love language? What are they first? Can you remember them?
Yeah, so there's physical touch, that is one of them. Time.
Yeah.
gift giving, so like presents, acts of service, and communication.
Ah, what's yours?
I would say mine is...
You see, you've missed it there. You should have said, no, what is mine? Go on, what is yours, mate?
What do you think
I
mine
don't know,
is?
what is yours?
I'd say it's a mixture of probably quality time and physical touch.
Not acts of service?
No, I think that's yours.
Yeah, mine's acts of service and physical touch.
Yeah, when I do things on your behalf, so like you love when I cook for you, the look on your face when I give you your food, you know, when...
And it's true, we're way to a man's heart, it's through his belly. Do you know what I mean? So.
And also doing things like on your behalf, like cooking, that you don't like to do for yourself. So it's two birds with one stone. It's something that you enjoy, and also it's something that I do on your behalf that you don't like to do. So
totally.
You know, I hate doing stuff for my car. So you doing things for me for my car and you know, things like that is the way that you show me love. I've got it, babe. I'll sort your car out. I'll go and do this. I'll go and do that.
Yeah.
But I also think that you are getting much better with your communication and showing your love.
I think that's been the biggest thing to rebuild. That's been rebuilding our marriage and is communication.
Yeah. And then the physical touch has led from that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've always been quite a touchy-feely couple. I wouldn't say we've ever you know, when you talk about PDA, public display of affection, like we've always been quite like that. I'd say especially in the past. Yeah. Obviously, towards having problems in our marriage, that sort of phased out, but. It was never
not a thing.
It was never not within our relationship ever, was it?
Let's talk about icks.
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 Okay.
If you don't know what icks are, what are icks, Mel?
It's like just something that you just go, ugh.
Yeah.
Like about the other person, you just like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or,
and I think, and the reason why I say this is, I think as you go through,
it gives you the ick.
I think as you go through marriage, them icks become more and more.
I think you notice them more and more, don't you? Because again, we spoke about this before.
We do have a laugh with this one.
Your partner is the person that's going to see you at your best, but also at your worst. So there are going to be times where you do get the ick, but you love them. You love them anyway.
Yeah, you love them anyway. But however, I think
it's nothing to split up over. But it's just okay. Do tell.
The reason why I say this is because I think what happens is sometimes when things are going wrong in a relationship, and things go. When you become stubborn and you become resentful and you let things go in and you start looking at the grass is greener, or maybe just not even that, maybe the relationship.
Okay, so it's gone beyond.
Yeah, no, it's starting to.
Okay.
I think the icks get bigger and bigger.
Okay, yeah.
And I think then you start to feel real ick about, like for instance, I don't like it when he touches me. That's an ick when he touches me, or I don't like it when he walks in the way he walks, and lots of things that can happen that can make.
I don't like the way they eat.
And like they're making too much noise when they're eating and things. And things like that. I think sometimes.
No comment.
I think sometimes the ick can become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Once you've got a thing about someone. Then lots of things start to become unattractive and start to get on your nerves.
And don't get me wrong, them icks are there when you're married.
Yeah.
But when they're not as big or highlighted, or they're there, you laugh them off because you think, I love her anyway, blah, blah, blah.
But don't you think an ick is very, like when you love someone, an ick is tolerable?
Yep.
If you were to think about an ick that you perhaps have with me, with another, if another woman did it, it's repulsive, isn't it? And I think that's how you know if you're with the right person, that okay, sometimes what they do gives me the ick a little bit, but it's okay because I'm okay with it. I think when it starts to become, I'm not okay with it, and actually, it's not just you. Like if it was with anyone, perhaps that's becoming a bit of a problem because there's certain things, and we're talking personally, that I might find a bit of an ick with you, and it's fine because it's you. But if any other man was to do it, I'd be like, that's disgusting.
So let's talk about it then. So obviously, the more you come apart, the more icks become a thing, don't they? And then the icks can become a thing, which then makes things become harder. And I don't mean that harder. I mean life goes harder, relationship goes harder, and things like that. One of the biggest things for us, if you don't know, one of the big things that we've done to rebuild our relationship was have date nights. Yeah. I think
which we did have before,
but
again, it wasn't you being present.
No.
And that's the big difference.
I think if you own your own business, being present is probably one of the hardest things you can do. And I've had to really take a back seat in business, haven't I? And think about being more present with you, being more present with my family. Now, when it comes to physical touch, okay, guys, you've got to understand the love languages, and ask yourself, have the conversation with your partner.
You might not know what your love language is.
You might not know,
having a conversation with your partner about discovering what each other's are, and your partners may not be what you think.
Yep.
And also, worth remembering that it's not the big thing about the love languages. It's not about showing love how you want to love your partner. It's about loving them how they want to be loved. So just because acts of service is a big thing for you doesn't mean that that's how I receive love.
Yeah.
So you doing all these things for me, okay, yeah, great. And I know that that's how you show love because we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't, and we hadn't had that conversation, and I didn't know that, I'd just be like, oh, okay, well, he's a man, he does the car.
Also, but it doesn't mean that even my love language is acts of service, so it's me showing you love. It doesn't mean that I stop there. I then got to show love through how you want to be loved.
Yeah. So it's just because that's the way you receive love doesn't mean that that's the way I receive it. So it's about listening to your partner and what's important to them. It might be that, receiving gifts is their thing. They might not need to see you all the time, but you buying them little presents here and there is huge for them. Or they might want to see you all the time, but they may never be bothered about you buying them a present. It's different ways that people want to be loved, and you have to be receptive to that.
I think one of the biggest things that for dads, if I was a dad now and I wanted to understand about love and I wanted to understand about intimacy, there's a passage in the Bible called, and it's 1 Corinthians 13, and it's called Love Is. And it explains love is kind, love is gentle, love is...
Please do.
I can't remember it all.
Love is patient, love is kind.
Yeah, love is kind. And it just gives you...
It's not selfish.
Yeah, and it just gives you a big list of what love is. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're God-believing, whatever you believe in, I think it's a really good representation of understanding what love is.
It's a good foundation.
It's a good foundation for where to start. And then I think... And I do believe a lot of men have got to understand what love is. Because, again, a lot of men think love is just sex. I think love fades. And really, one of the things that I got taught at the beginning of rebuilding our relationship is you have to work on love every day. You have to choose
to love.
You have to choose to love. And it's really important sometimes, guys, that whether you believe it or not, love isn't always there. And so
I think love's always there, but the intentional being in love.
Yeah. So you might care, you might really love your person, but you might love that person in a caring way. But being in love, you have to choose every day, and you have to choose those actions, and it's an action. And then once you can have that conversation,
it's a verb.
It's a verb.
It's a doing
word. Once you can have that conversation about love language, once you, as a man. And I think I'm gonna wind it all up, because I think if a man can work on himself physically, mentally, emotionally, if a man can have the hard conversations and have the conversations about love languages, if a man can show leadership from the top, because that's what a man's job is, to lead his family with purpose and strength. And I think if a man can be more focused on meeting the family's needs as well. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's very easy to get focused on what I want rather than what the family wants.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that kind of then it's like a ripple effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think once you're sort of established and working on your relationship, that has a ripple effect then to your family. You're more settled, your wife's more settled, everyone's happy, everyone's functioning, everyone's getting their needs met, because we all have different needs, don't we? I think in your relationship you've got to figure out what each other's needs are and how you can meet them. That's what being a relationship is, and it is a choice, and it's not always easy, and you're not always going to agree, and you're not always going to have the same thought process or be in the same place. One of you might be wanting intimacy all the time and the other person just doesn't, it will go in ebbs and flows. I feel like every relationship will have its peaks and troughs of sex and intimacy. You'll have times where you're at it like rabbits, and then you'll have other times where you have lulls. But
if you have kids, you're never at it with rabbits. You've got to take it when it comes and plan around it. But I want to end on this, guys, because it's very easy as dads to be disciplined in the wrong things. Okay, and what I mean by that is, I see a lot of the time, especially on social media, dads talk about getting fit. Dads talk about building a business. Dads talk about the habits that create consistency, the cold plunges, making 10K a month, and all these sort of things. And guys, I've been there. It's great. Okay, having money is great. Doing the cold plunges builds discipline. Working out makes you feel good. But you can also be so distracted by it that you lose your focus of your family.
And having all that is great.
Mm-hmm. We've had it all.
But is it worth having it at the detriment of having nothing else?
So, dads, be disciplined in your family as well. Yeah. Be disciplined in loving, communicating with your wife. Set time aside. Be present. Sit down and watch the crappy love film that I know she loves. The Holiday. I can't stand it. It's not my favourite film, but we'll sit down.
Can't stand it.
I can't stand it. But yeah, it's a great film. However, the amount of times you watch it, do I want to watch it again? No, but we'll watch it again.
Once a year.
Once a year. Sometimes the soundtrack comes on every week. And she knows I like The Walking Dead. Does she like it herself? Not really, but it's making those little sacrifices, but being disciplined in that and being consistent, not just a one-off. Having hard conversations on a regular basis. The amount of hard conversations we have, probably once a week, where we have an argument or something goes wrong and we flare up and then we bring it back down and then we discuss. We're not perfect. Sometimes we flare up and we'll go to bed, you on one side and me on the other. However, it's coming back to the reason why you're together, remembering that you wouldn't have done it when you were dating. Do you know what I mean? When you were dating, you were loving, caring, being affectionate.
And there probably were things that maybe annoyed you or give you the ick, but you let it go.
Yeah.
You let it go.
And guys, if I really want to push it even further, I would say the bottom line in this, go and read 1 Corinthians 13. Okay, what love is all about. Start changing how you view your partner. She's not just someone that on the tap you're going to get sex. Okay, you've got to do the hard work.
You're not entitled to it, you earn it.
Yeah, and you've got to do the work. Okay, you've got to do the communication. You've got to do the good affirmation touching, the good hugging, the nice time spent. And again, you're not doing it because you feel like you have to just get sex. You're doing it because you want to, because you want her to feel safe, to feel valued, to feel emotionally connected. So then she's able to open up to you, talk to you. And that then leads to the punani.
Opening up in all ways. You decided to go there, I went there.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then you went there. So I hope that helps you, dads, because it's a subject that not many people want to talk about. And when they do talk about it, it's, if you want sex every night, then you need to do this. Let's be real. Who's got time for sex every night?
Not us.
Not us.
We're busy.
We're busy. We're doing podcasts. We're working. We're counselling dads.
But it isn't, and again, it comes back to that ye old saying of quality, not quantity.
True.
So
sometimes you have it once a year, dads. Make sure it's quality, not quantity. But guys, I hope that's helped you. I'd love to hear your comments on this topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. So drop it in. I no doubt on YouTube you will get that one dad that goes, I ain't got a problem with it. I have sex every night.
Great.
And I'd ask the question, does your wife enjoy it?
Yeah, and I'd say good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you. Guys, if you've got value from this, please please subscribe. My subscribers are going up slowly, and I appreciate for every single person that subscribe on this podcast. I really appreciate you all. However, guys, please like it. Please comment, because comment helps my algorithm get it out there. Please share. And if you're not already part of the Tired Dad community, please join, because we're going to do lots of more talks with other dads about how to make money on the side, how to hit 10K months with some good financial strategies that we've got coming up. We're also going to talk about how co-parenting single dads survive, and go and check out my podcast with Jeremy Hammett about how he won the system. Guys, till next time, see you there. Bye-bye. I think we're pros now, babe. I think we're pros now.